I came across an Instagram reel a couple of days ago and I was like, you know what? I should probably make a video about it. Basically, the reel was about something like 3 types of hobbies that every person should have. And those 3 types of hobbies were an intellectual hobby, a physical hobby, and a creative hobby. I'm not going to beat around the bush and start waffling, so let's get straight into it, starting off with the intellectual hobby. Every single student should have this hobby because it not only challenges you to think more than you can, it also puts your brain to work outside of school. It's also something that will allow you to grow in other areas of your life and just become a more knowledgeable person overall. It basically increases your general knowledge. Now you might be asking, what are some example types of these hobbies? Let me give you them. Probably the best intellectual hobby in my opinion is reading non-fiction books. So books such as self-help or productivity books, they just, help me grow more as a person, become more productive, more efficient, and all of that stuff. So they really do help me in real life a lot. Another intellectual hobby could include, learning a new skill such as public speaking, learning a language, or even debating. All of these things will, put your brain at work and will, basically help your knowledge improve. I just remembered I have an intellectual hobby that not many people have, and it's quite rare to see, especially nowadays with like social media and all of that stuff. It just, you don't see people in that field. Let me actually show you. Here's my intellectual hobby, and it's something that you don't really see nowadays. It is currency collection, more specifically banknote collection. I do have coins and stamps and all of that stuff as well, but banknotes are just a different breed, as you can see over here. Actually, let me show you some cool stuff from it. This is probably one of my favorite things that I have in my collection. I don't know if it can focus. This is a German mark from 1922. I don't know how much it's worth. It's probably worth a lot. And this is pre-World War II, and I have World War II stuff as well. I have stuff from when Soviet Union existed, when Pakistan and India were one country. It's just very cool. And the way I make this hobby intellectual is, but whenever I get something, a new currency, I go and do some research on it, on the currency, on what the banknote has. So for example, over here you see this figure. I would probably, if I got this, if it was a new note, I would probably do some research on it. And let me actually give you a backstory of one that I got recently. This is one of the coolest banknotes that I have. This is on the front. You can basically see Eugène Delacroix, who was a French painter and who painted during the French Revolution. And this is I don't know if you saw it, but this banknote is actually from France when they did not use the euro. So this is from 1993, and it's 100 francs. So I just, you learn more about history, you learn more about just general knowledge in general, basically. So yeah, that is my intellectual hobby, which you don't really see nowadays. Anyways, enough waffling. Let's move on to the next point. Moving on to the second type of hobby, which is a physical hobby, and I don't think I really need to talk much about this. It's pretty self-explanatory. Everyone should be doing some sort of physical activity, whether that be, going to the gym, doing some sports, doing stuff like yoga or Pilates, whatever it may be. Because there's a lot of scientific evidence that show that once you start working out, once you start being physical, your mental health improves, your productivity improves, all of that stuff improves. And most importantly, you feel better about yourself, your self-confidence improves, and all of that stuff. I'll just mention a couple of physical activities that you can probably take up. The first of all, and the most important one, is going to the gym. Especially if you're a guy, you should be going to the gym. It really, really, really does help you in terms of, your physique, your mental health, your productivity. You'll just start feeling better about yourself. The second one is sports. You can play football, cricket, basketball, whatever you're into, go ahead and play it. If it makes you happy and it's keeping you healthy, why not do it? And the third one, which I don't really know about much, is Pilates, yoga, and all of that stuff. If you enjoy doing it, go for it. I don't really know much about it. As long as it's physical and you're getting some benefits, health benefits from it, go for it. But you should have a physical hobby, which can be literally anything that involves doing physical work. So yeah. Physical hobbies, they improve your mental health, they improve your physical health. It's just a win-win overall. So start doing a physical hobby. The third and final type of hobby is a creative hobby, and this involves you basically creating or crafting something. The benefits of a creative hobby are basically that it lets you express yourself and think differently. You can produce something that is made completely by you, and you can leave an imprint of yourself on the world. Creative hobby basically includes stuff like content creation, which I do, creating scripts, creating videos, producing content. All of this is something creative. It also includes something like cooking and baking, drawing, sketching, writing, and all of that stuff. Something where you're producing something by yourself. So when you're drawing something, you're producing a piece of art. When you're producing music, you're producing something. Basically anything that involves you creating something or you producing something is a creative hobby that you should probably keep going, because it nourishes your brain and just keeps it active all the time. Now if you're a student and you're listening to this is what I would recommend to you from each of those 3 hobbies. For the intellectual hobby, I would recommend that you start reading books, more specifically non-fiction books such as self-help and productivity books, time management books, all of that stuff, so that you can become more productive, efficient, and all of that stuff, and basically earn a lot of money, improve your grades, whatever it may be. You start doing that. From the physical hobby, I would obviously say gym, because it's the most easily accessible and you can basically do a lot of work. You can also do something like a home workouts or whatever, just anything that involves physical stuff, which will keep your body in check, your physique in check, and just make you feel better about yourself. And finally, for the creative hobby, I'm going to be a bit biased and I would say content creation, because creating your own personal brand is the way to go into the future. And I'm not saying you have to do it on YouTube or Instagram. LinkedIn is probably the best profile for students, because you just have such a good network and connection to reach other people, other students, other people like you, and just grow your network in general. So if you're a student, start using LinkedIn now and basically improve your profile and your personal brand so that you get more opportunities in the future. Obviously you're not limited to 3 hobbies only. You could have more. For example, I have football. I love watching football, but football doesn't really categorize into any of these 3 categories that I just gave you of intellectual, physical, or creative. Watching football doesn't really come. You could say it's a bit of a time waste, but if it makes you happy, it does, So you could have more than 3 hobbies. You can have as many hobbies as you want. You're not limited to them. So basically what I'm trying to say is that have one hobby from each of these 3 categories, and then you can add as many on top of that. But make sure that you're not overwhelming yourself with your hobbies. Anyways, that's about it for today's video. I really do hope you enjoyed and you took something away from it. Let me know in the comments down below what your 3 hobbies are going to be. And if you enjoyed this video, check out this video right over here. Subscribe to the channel. Click over here to check out my profile and also subscribe. I'll see you with another video very, very soon. Take care and goodbye.